Get started. You can begin.
Yes, yes, yes. Shall we do it video na? I think Karthik's video is not coming.
No, no, she's here.
Is here. So it's a video interview na?
Yeah. I'm recording the video. I'll share it with you.
Okay, great, great. So first of all, Karthiki, ढेर सारी मुबारकबाद.
Sorry.
Yes, yes,
Anshul.
yes.
Amit sir, can you just
Many congratulations to you. Yeah, first of all, many congratulations to you. You made India proud there in Oscars. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
yes, yes, yes. So, 5-year long journey, I think, of its making.
Yes.
So, from where you bring such patience?
I think to begin with, my background is that I'm a natural history and social documentary photographer, and I've been going to the wilderness ever since I was 18 months old. So I'm very well versed with being out in the wild and having experiences with animals. So this was just natural for me to do something in this line. And I think it comes from the background that I came from, because my mother does a whole lot of natural history stuff, and she's very interested in culture. And my father is also a photographer. So, and my grandmother used to actually take school children into natural reserves and used to teach them about nature and about birds and the landscape. So I had a lot of information provided to me about how to go about all of this, and also animal behavior along the process. I had a lot of knowledge that was already provided to me at a very young age.
Wow. But to give, life's precious 5 year to a single project. Okay. So how did you make your mind and you thought, no, I have to give this much time, or no, it took organically?
It was very organic because this began as a very personal journey, and it just took off very organically. I don't think there's even a single moment that is there that I can really tell you that, okay, this is the moment that I said I want to make the documentary. It started out as a personal bond with Raghu, and it just carried on from there, and I just got more immersed into it. And it started out with me just wanting to make a small 15-minute documentary, self-made. And here we are today, 5 years down the line. And I think timing is not something that ever crossed my mind. We were in the middle of the pandemic as well. 3 years into the documentary, we faced the pandemic. So that also just happened out of the blue. We were filming during the pandemic. But when it comes to the time, that was not something that I ever thought about. And I think when you love the kind of work that you do so much, I don't think time ever is a question. It was my first documentary. So it was it never crossed my mind. It was just constantly on the go. In fact, even after the 5 years, I could have easily gone on for another 15, 20 years. I think when you build such bonds with the community, with the people, with the elephants, I think it was very hard for me to actually pull the plug on the documentary, because these were elephants who are calves who are growing up. And when you look at stories like this, you just want to be there all the time, and you form lifelong bonds. So it's almost a sad goodbye when you have to pull the plug and close the documentary.
Definitely. And how did this idea come to your mind to make a trailer first and approach Netflix as well? So it was single Netflix was there, or you have approached other platforms as well with your trailer?
So this again was extremely organic. I had been a cinematographer on an Animal Planet and Discovery show called On the Brink, and I was actually the cinematographer on that. So I was one of the camera women on that. So that was my previous experience being a camera woman. So this was very fresh in all aspects, and I didn't know anything about direction or anything. So I just sort of navigated all the things as they came along during this journey, because I didn't have anyone to talk to, and I didn't have anyone I was consulting with. So it just became a very organic process. I think I had all this beautiful footage that I'd recorded on my DSLR of Raghu and Bowman. I also had some phone footage. I also had a GoPro with me, which I was capturing almost every moment, because I think when you really get to spend such intimate moments with the elephant calf who's 3 months old, and with the man like Bowman with such vast knowledge on our natural world and so many beautiful values that we can learn from, I think I just started documenting every single thing. And after that, I really decided that this is a story that I wanted to tell, because of this, I found it to be such a unique, special family dynamic. Then it was something I'd never come across my entire life. I've always seen men mahouts looking after elephants, and here you had Bowman, you had Belly, and here you had this tiny little elephant that they saw as their son, and that just really struck a chord within me, that I was sitting on this beautiful journey that of this young calf who needed a family so badly because his mother had gotten killed.
Yes.
She got electrocuted. So basically, it just goes back to that bit. And I think after that, I I did some research, and that's when I really looked at it very professionally, because I was like, okay, I want to make a documentary now. Now, how do I go about this? And the first thing I was like, I want to direct this and I want to be the camera as well, but I need to hire somebody to come and work with me. So that's when I started the entire process of going through cinematographers across India. I think I went through about 92 profiles at the time. And this was very interesting because I really wanted to get somebody, because this was a human story, but it also had animals. And it's if there's people who actually film wildlife, they're not necessarily the best when it comes to filming humans. And people who film humans are not necessarily the best when it comes to animals. These are two very drastically different spaces and expertise. So I was really looking for someone, since I had the background of wildlife cinematography. I was really looking at finding someone who could really capture human emotions very well. And that's when I came across Krish Makija. I got on the phone, I told him about the story, and he was like, whatever it is, I'm in. I love the story. So he flew down, we got an audio person on board, we had a pre-production person, and we just started filming. We filmed for about 3 to 4 months, and we had a lot of footage. And then I went back to Bombay, and I actually crafted a promo. I crafted a film promo, which we released many years ago. And then after that, I reached out to Netflix, and that's when they were very interested in this project. And after that, it just took some time. And then little after that is when we got Guneet on board for this project. So it was very special to be able to have all the support that we did. And Amu had already come in during that time, because after I went to make the promo and come back, Amu actually came into the camp on the last day of my shoot. And that's when I had reached out to Netflix, and I was like, okay, I really want to pursue the story. So that's how it all began. And then it was such a beautiful moment when Amu came in, but that again was also very bittersweet, because she was again a 3-month-old baby. In fact, we have images of Krish and me with Bowman and Amu was she was about that big. So it was very, very special. And it was sad in a way, because she just came in and she was very upset and sad that she was there. And I think it's very traumatic for a calf when they get abandoned. And then we were just not allowed to actually film her. So because it takes a while for them to settle in, and it's the interest of the calf comes first. It's not because you're a camera person, you can just go in and shoot. You have to really look at it from a point of view that these are real human beings, these are real elephants. They're not actors at all from any point of view. So you have to be really considerate when you're going into local spaces, taking the indigenous people in mind, but also taking into mind that these are young elephant calves that need the care and the love, and they also need to be looked after. So we actually filmed Amu a little bit later, and that it's been like a beautiful journey. And I think the sad thing with Amu is that it just showed how quickly calves come in, because that in itself is a problem. So that's something that I just wanted to highlight in the movie as well, that this is how often something like this is happening in a space like this.
Really. And who has been your, I mean, inspirations from mainstream cinema? From, if we can say, matlab, if we can say that South Indians have terrific sense of visuals, right? From Mani Ratnam sir or whoever. So we can say that this is in the blood of South Indians, that they have a superb sense of visuals, and you too have that kind of.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I actually don't have any film background. I barely watch any cinema myself. Um, I don't actually. I actually spend a lot of time out in the wilderness, and I spend a lot of time on my photography. And I've been on the Indo-Pakistan border documenting the lives of people up there, and I've been into deep within the forests. But there are lots of times where I don't have any internet access, and I'm always on the go somewhere. So I don't have much time to watch almost anything. So no. And I actually never had a television till I was in 11th grade. So we never had a television at home. So it was never it was not something that I ever turned to.
Okay.
Growing up in Ooty in the Nilgiris, it's a very wild place. So we were always outdoors. I grew up horse riding, kayaking, going into rivers and streams, walking in the forests. So that was what my childhood was like.
So not a single film have you, I mean, watched?
No, I mean, I've watched, but
Yeah.
I've watched over the years. I mean, I love things like Free Willy, and I've watched a lot of documentaries as well. There's Sea of Shadows. There are a lot of ones that there's Viranga. There are a lot of beautiful documentaries that have been made, but I'm not an avid movie watcher.
Okay. So, I mean, occasional movie watcher, we can say, or no? Even that we cannot say that Kartiki would have or would have watched Rajini sir film or Kamal Hassan sir film or Shah Rukh Khan film. No.
No, sorry to disappoint you.
No issue,
Yes.
no issue. Okay, Kartiki, what is your way? Okay, or if you, I mean, have to give tips, okay, to who want to excel in this field, okay, and in this genre, short documentaries, how should they, I mean, find stories, or how should they deal with animals or the different type of emotions?
I think when it comes to documentary, I think one of the basic things is to not think so big. It doesn't have to be a special story. It doesn't have to be something that is far-fetched with a lot of money, thousands of miles away in a foreign land. It doesn't have to be that. It can be very homegrown. Berman and Belly are two beautiful people who live in the heart of the forest. They weren't actors, and they had something special to show the world. And I think when you step out and you're looking for inspiration or looking for a story to tell, I think the first thing is to forget that you're looking for a story to tell. You don't go out searching for something. I think things come to you, and the basic thing is what you make out of it. Because, for instance, this is a place that is basically my home. Where the movie was made is my home place, and I've been
Madurai.
going there.
Sorry. Yeah.
The Nilgiris, basically.
Yes.
I grew up in Ooty, and I live half an hour from where the elephants are. And the first time I ever went to that very camp was when I was 3 years old. And an elephant that I met when I was 3 years old is still alive today at that very camp. So it's and I've been visiting that same forest. I lived in that forest for a year and a half. Back after, just out of college, I was living in that very forest. I used to walk in it twice a day. I would wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I would be in the forest by 5:30. I would experience the wild. I saw wild elephants, tigers, leopards while I was on foot. This is not in a safari vehicle. And then I would come back, and I would do this twice a day. And this is what I did just out of college because of my love for the natural surroundings and for the wildlife that we share our space with. And a couple of years ago, they actually banned walking in the forests. So this was something that was happening for a very long time. And I was actually very lucky to have my first moments over there and to really spend a whole lot of time within these beautiful forests. So when it came to telling a story from there, it was just very natural for me. And I think coming back to your question, I think you have to be really open to just seeing what's out there. You have to be open to exploring. You have to be able to connect with people, and you have to be able to portray indigenous communities and people that you're meeting to the like 100% to the truth. I think when you go in, there's a tendency to sort of go in with a mindset of, I want to tell the story that I want to tell. But the story that you want to tell, is it the story that is truthful for them? And I think people have to be mindful of that. And I think you just go out there and be passionate about it. I think when I started this journey back in 2017, it was love and passion for what I was doing and the work that I do that got me through these 5 or 6 years, because I hadn't the slightest clue that this documentary would be this long. But even today, I'm just really happy with every single moment that I've been on this journey with. And people always ask me, like, 6 years, it's running on to 6 years of your life. But I can proudly say that it's been the best part of my life, being able to experience all this during this journey. So I think the core things I would say is definitely love for your subject, passion, being able to spend many, many hours. And one most important thing, never think of the outcome. I didn't ever think that we would be shortlisted or nominated for the Oscars. That's not something that ever crossed my mind, because I as you know, that this is my debut film. So this is my first film.
So, so now can we say that Kartiki is being flooded with the mainstream film offers since the announcement came?
It's been pretty intense. I've been getting offers from all over, fiction, non-fiction, everything, and it's been a lot to handle, actually, because I think I actually really want to focus on documentaries. I feel like India is such a
You
beautiful
are not
vast-
interested in, I mean, feature film or mainstream film, or no? I mean, you will do.
It's not something that I've really explored. And I think even when it came to my background being a social documentary and natural history photographer, I think I've been using photography and filmmaking as a medium to reach out to the world with important messages. So I don't see myself going down the fiction route at all, because I just want to be able to share stories that can make a difference in some way or the other, in which will have the ability to reach out to people. And I also want to give Indigenous people a voice. I want to showcase more beautiful examples of coexistence, because I think in our current world that we are living in, there is so much negativity and so much going on that I feel like people need hope. I feel like people need to see what is working rather than seeing what's not working, because the media is always flooded with things that are sad, upsetting, angry. And I think we need hope during this time.
Wow. Okay, and just last question. How did you, I mean, there must have been a language barrier as well with the, I mean, Baman, Veli kind of people, okay, because they are, I mean, not versed with that language as we speak. So how did
Yeah.
that happen? Yes, how did
Well,
that
so I
happen?
think, I mean, living
You
in
learned
India,
that language or no? I mean, how did that?
living and growing up in India, let me just start with the basic overall thing. India is home to more than 19,500 languages or dialects spoken
Yes.
here, with about 121 crore people. So I think with Boman and Belly being Katanaikas, and it's a forest tribe that inhabits the heart of the Western Ghats, this is their homeland. And the language that they actually speak is a mixture of Malayalam, Tamil, and Kannada, because their homeland falls on the states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka.
Yeah.
And I think coming back to the main fact that originally they are hunter-gatherers, and they have specialized in honey collection as well as an elephant care. So I think it really goes back to the core language of the space. It was a language that I do not understand. I speak Tamil because I was brought up in Tamil Nadu. I speak very fluent Tamil. And that's how I was able to communicate with Boman and Belly. However, in the documentary, there are many instances where Boman, Belly, Amu, and Raghu, all when they are talking to the elephants, or when Boman and Belly are talking to themselves, they are speaking in the Katanaikan language. And that is something that only the 1,700 people approximately who belong to this tribe can understand. Nobody else can even understand what they're saying. And that's what makes it really special. We actually had a translator on board who helped us go through the translations of what they were saying. And with the overall rest of the movie, I was able to communicate very clearly with the Tamil that I have. So I think being a local in this instance really helped. And it helped on many levels, from just bonding with Boman and Belly to also been one of them from the same landscape. And I think all of that really helped in building trust with them and to be able to be in a position to tell such an intimate story from a chunk of their lives in such an intimate manner.
And your way, how to make animal act?
You can't get animals to act. And I think that's part of the reason why we did the documentary over the 5 years, because natural history filmmaking really takes a lot of time. And apart from the elephants in the camp of Ragoon, Amu, and the other elephants, we also filmed a lot in the forests. We were in the core area of the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve, and we did a lot of wild elephants, tigers, bears, and we had very close experiences as well. So I think when it really comes back to that, it's you just have to be patient. These are animals of their own nature, and you just have to be patient. If you remember that scene in the movie where Belly asks Amu to lie down, and she lies down next to her. That's such a beautiful moment. But to be very honest, that was captured while we were on one of our breaks. We were waiting for Bowman to come. He'd gone back to his house for 5-10 minutes, and we were waiting for him. And that's when this moment happened. It was completely unexpected. And I think that really comes back to the style of documentary that we did for this, which is the verite style of documentary, where you're running around with the camera most of the time. It's not like we had set up tripods and that we had things set up and people coming here and there. It was just following the daily lives of these elephants for 5 years. So we had over 450 hours of footage, and our
Yes,
final output is exactly 40 minutes. Exactly. So we captured everything in their lives between these 5 years. We captured everything that we could. We have 5,000 Amu baths. We have 5,000 scenes of them eating food, because we would just document their lives day in and day out.
Oh. So can we say the another parts of the same project can be possible or no? I mean, the rest of that footage, I mean, 490 hours footage, what will happen to that? I mean,
I don't know. That's just yeah, we won't be using that in any way. So
the-
I mean, yeah, we actually captured a whole lot of footage over this time. We captured some human-animal conflict. We captured a lot of Bowman and Belly's lives. We captured a lot of the forest with lots of animals, and we have a whole lot of footage on there.
so is there any contract with Netflix and other 3, 4, 5 projects? Please make for us. Is that happening?
No comments on that.
And what is the budget, if we can say, of this documentary? If we can say
Again, I
around.
don't think. Yeah, I don't think I can answer that. Sorry.
No issue, no issue. Best of luck, Kartiki,
Thank you.
for 24th Feb. We hope, and fingers crossed, that it will bring Oscar for India.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Lovely talking to you. Thanks. Bye.